What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Project R.I.S.E YouTube channel. In this series, this is the first part of a two-part series and it's about running. Now, what about running? This is going to be going in depth into how to start your running journey or running for beginners. Let's go. Welcome to part one of the running series for beginners. Before we get into it, my name is Charan. I've been running now for approximately 12 years. So just to give you a little bit of a resume of my running background, I was on Team Canada for obstacle course racing in 2016 and 17. I've competed in a 24-hour race. I've done multiple 50-kilometer ultra marathons. One of them happened to be in Hawaii, where I placed second in my age group. Incredibly grateful and happy for that performance. I've done approximately 40 to 50 different Spartan races all across the States and Canada. Incredibly happy with my running background, and I absolutely love running, and I'll probably continue running until my old age. So for the first tip, in my opinion, is the most important one, and that is have fun. A lot of times when people start their running journey, they get caught up way too much in speed, pace, distance, comparing their running performance and distances with their friends, and they lose sight of why they started. And the reason you probably started running is to either get fit, as a means and as a tool to help your mental health, to de-stress you from the daily lives. So like I said, the most important thing is never forget to have fun. You can run with a friend, you can switch it up and run in different places, and constantly remind yourself and be mindful of why you started. So those are the three ways to kind of continuously have fun. Get your friends and family involved too. When you go on vacation, just go for small runs where you can see different sights, and don't get caught up in the speed. Don't get caught up too much in your pace. Just put one foot in front of the other and enjoy it. So the second tip is tracking your progress. Like I said, when you start, don't get caught up too much in your speed and pace. But as you go along, you're gonna wanna get better at running. And how you do that, outside of the actual running itself, is tracking your progress. Now, how I personally track my progress is I use apps on my phone. There's two apps I recommend, and that's either Strava or Nike running app. On Strava, it really incentivizes your goals. There's challenges that you can sign up to. And when you complete those challenges, you get offered a discount code, or you get awarded small different awards and different achievements. But with the app, you get to see what like-minded people are running, where they're running. There's route planners too. So if you're very stagnant in running in the same place, the route planners are really helpful. You can say, plan a 5K by the water, plan a 10K with no hills, plan a 3K just in your neighborhood. It will give you those routes. Also, you can literally search up some of the greatest runners on this planet and go on their profile and see how they're doing. And for me, I love seeing what people better than me are doing so I can progress too. And on your profile, you can set goals, you can set your performance, you can see your running history that you have tracked in the app. For me, that's incredible. It's a great incentive to keep continuing on my runs. For tip number 3, and this is gear. And what I mean by gear is the right type of clothing and shoes. As you progress, you're gonna notice that yes, you're gonna want your performance to be better, but you're also gonna wanna be injury-free. And part of that is making sure you're running in the right shoes. I can't stress this enough, but you have to take care of your feet. I know that sounds funny. I will be going over running mechanics to make sure you stay as injury-free as possible. But part of staying injury-free is making sure you're wearing the right shoes. Now, I do recommend going to a running specialist. Ask the right questions. I am not a professional in fitting running shoes for you, but I am recommending that you do buy and you do your own research and you do get the right running shoes for you. Now, I've had tons of running specialists and running professionals, recommend shoes for me. Now, did I go out and buy that shoe that they wanted? No, I didn't, but I did do my own research. I did look at reviews, I did try them on, and I found the right one for me. Now, I personally use the Nike Zoom Flies for medium to short range runs. For longer runs, I use Hoka 1-1. Why? Because the heel and the sponge and the cushioning is incredible. So like I said, do your own research on finding the right shoe for you. Part of running goes beyond just your shoes. Depending on the type of person you are, depending on your injuries and your lifestyle, you might want to look into compression gear. Compression gear can range from compression socks, compression sleeves, compression pants, and even upper body compression sleeves too. So I would definitely recommend looking into those. A brand that I personally use is a brand called 2XU. You can look into those, but like I said, there's many different brands, and please do your own research. If you are going down the route of ultra marathons and long distance running, you do have something called hydration packs. Now hydration packs, you can have a backpack or you can have an ultra vest. I started off by using the Camelback hydration packs. Now it's a small little backpack that clips on you, and it has about 1.5 to 2 liters of water in the backpack with the pipe coming to the front so you can sip, and it makes your runs a lot more efficient as opposed to just carrying a water bottle. If you notice, a lot of the professionals don't actually use them because they do kind of weigh you down and they do slosh around on your back, and it is kind of funny. So I personally like to use an ultra vest. An ultra vest is a night type vest that you wear, and it clips in, and you have 2 water bottles on your chest. Okay, but like I said, please do your own research, and as you progress in your running journey, you're definitely going to want to go down the route of finding what works for you and your goals. So tip number 4, and that is fuel and nutrition. Now, I'm going to go over a few personal experiences, but my most important thing that I'm trying to say for tip number 4 is trial and error. Like when I first started running, I thought, you know, I'm gonna throw up, so I would go on empty stomachs. But then I would be so malnutritioned, I'd be so tired that I was like, okay, this does not work. So then I'd go down the route of, okay, I'm gonna have a bowl of cereal. And then I just felt like, okay, now I feel sick. So I really went to the drawing board and had to find a medium. So how I did that was I did an extensive amount of research on YouTube. You know, I spoke to a professional nutritionist. I spoke to other athletes, other runners, and I kind of picked the brain of many people. I went down the route of, you know, what kind of, you know, electrolytes do I need while I'm running? What I need prior to running, what I need after running. Pre-nutrition, you know, post-nutrition. In the beginning, it might seem a little bit overwhelming, but at the end of the day, think of your body like a car. You know, we'd never do a drag race, you know, with an empty fuel tank. You would never do a NASCAR 100-kilometer race, you know, without changing the oil or having the right tires, so to speak. So I guess tip number 4 is please do your research on number 1, nutrition and fuel when it comes to running. Number 2 is trial and error, because what works for somebody might not work for you. You might have dietary limitations that somebody else doesn't, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and throw, you know, advice at you saying you have to eat this, 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 and this, and I'll tell you what works for me. Now, I use gel tablets which are full of BCAAs and electrolytes. The one I particularly like is just simply sea salt and maple syrup. Now I only use those on long distance runs. Now what's a long distance run for me? Personally, anything over 10K, I need to fuel my body as I'm running, right? Pre and post, I can go over, but as I'm running, these are super crucial for me. So tip number 4 is please do your research and trial and error on how to fuel your body while you're running. So the last tip for today, tip number 5, is a very simple tip, and that is get some rest. If you want to continue your running journey, you have to rest. You have to let your ligaments, your tendons, your bones, your joints have a breather. You know, you don't work every day. You work Monday to Friday and you have a weekend rest, correct? Or whatever your schedule may be. So the same applies for any type of modality that you do when it comes to fitness. And running is not an exception. You have to rest. You might need to take 1 day. You might need to take 1 week because your knees are hurting you. You know, remember, professional runners have on seasons and off seasons where they're racing. Their on seasons, they might taper down their training because they're, you know, competing more, and their off seasons, they may run 3 to 4 days a week and then taper up in their, you know, frequency and their distance that they do. So, like I said, you have to rest when it comes to running and listen to your body. So I'm here in this video just simply giving some tips for you in hopes that it takes you off the couch and onto the tarmac. So I'll see you guys in part 2, where we'll be going to the track and we'll be going onto the tarmac, and I'll be showing you actual practical advice when it comes to actual running mechanics. Until then, peace out. Okay, it comes in. Okay, now, Zen. Okay.